But you're a UFC man, aren't you?
I used to be.
I
used to be. I struggle keeping up with so many events now. So if like Volkanovski, John Jones, any of these men if they're fighting, I'm watching.
The main guys.
Yeah, but like I struggle to watch like
the fight nights. The fight. I don't watch the fight nights
tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's
with Holly Holmes.
Shevchenko too, isn't it? That Shevchenko's fighting on this one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, see,
next
like
week's the
Shevchenko's September.
Holly Holmes is fighting tomorrow.
It's because the UFC have to try and put so many events on, though.
We live in the world of oversaturation, don't we? So something's got to be on every week. Whereas when I fell in love with UFC, it was like an event every few months, if we're lucky. And there was build up, and you got time to watch it, enjoy it, watch it build up, and get excited for it. And then when the fight happens, you'd stay up for it. Whereas now, there's a UFC on every weekend, pretty much, isn't there? Like,
it feels like that in a minute.
If it's much of like the following the fighters around because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
They used to follow the fighters around.
I know what you mean, though. There was more excitement for an event.
Yeah, there's
more excitement. Now there's not because it's on every week.
Yeah, same with boxing. Like that
290 event was good though.
290 was good. 290 was good, but I mean, like, I do understand what you're saying, though. It loses this, like,
I like
thrill.
a build up. I like talking with my friends and sitting there for months trying to say, nah, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. But yeah, I like all that. I like UFC.
Did you watch the 290 card?
I watched, which one was the main event of that again?
Volk Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, I saw the Volkanovski Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That kind of went how I expected.
Yeah, ragdolled him. We all like ragdolled him. Because that's the best way to fight him.
Absolutely,
every fighter, every time Rodriguez has fought someone who got in his face, because the best way to stop a kicker is close the distance, so they can't kick. Then, like Edson Barbosa, his kicks were nasty,
100%.
And then as soon as he fought someone like Khabib and that, get on him straight away, close the distance, take him down, because you can't kick from close range.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give them that time, they can start lining them up.
Absolutely.
Wonderboy Thompson does it the best.
Well, just Volkanovski as a whole, right? He's a little man, and he's just closing distance on people.
They put a photo of him the other day, all like the previous fights he's had, and every person he's fought, he's like battered their face.
I seen something though, literally earlier, that it was showing Max Holloway's reach, and I don't know how true it is, but he's got long reach. He's got like 71.
Yeah, he's got long reach.
And that makes sense why he can come in and catch and get out. Like, it does make a bit more sense why he's like dominant.
He had longer reach than who he just fought Saturday.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
71's quite big for a little man.
Yeah.
That's
long hands.
Have you seen the picture of Volkanovski when he was a rugby player?
Yeah. Big boy.
It's like
big boy.
3 times the size, and he's like my height.
That's
wild.
Pretty mad, because he got to a good level at rugby, and then now he's like best fighter in the world. Like he's an athlete.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's interesting to watch.
Because he done wrestling as well.
No, I'm not sure what he does. He does. No, that was Robert Whittaker wrestled for Australia's national team.
Yeah, which I don't know what that's like. That's like saying I wrestled for Australia. I don't know what the level was.
He's throwing shade on that.
No, I'm not throwing shade.
But you know his takedown defense. He's got some legit takedown defense.
No, 100%. No, 100%. I'm just saying. I don't know what
you don't know what level is that. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with you. I just thought national team wrestling's got to be.
Hey, listen, of course.
Australia, yeah.
If you said Australian cricket team or Australian
rugby team,
you got it. All right, cool. But wrestling, I'm like.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true.
But yeah, no.
But welcome to the pod, man. It's been a minute. We've been trying to work something out for a minute.
The universe is aligned.
It's aligned. It's the second half of 210, Aaron. Everyone wanted to, especially after Boys has come out, so everyone was messaging me. You need to get Aaron on. We need the second half of 210. And when we were planning it, it was gonna be pretty soon after the competition you've done in Milton Keynes, which you've won. Obviously, that was a few months ago now. But what was it like for you, and did you exceed expectation?
Oh, exceed expectations? No, I knew we'd win the trophy. We have a big team. We have a big team who competes a lot. So we roll out as a big team as well. We don't send little sporadic pockets of
fights
of competitors. We kind of go, right, we're going to compete at this competition here, and everybody's going to go, and we put our name down. Everybody puts their name down. Rain's put his name down for the next one, so he's ready. So yeah, we roll out as a team. We have a build up to it. We almost put in a camp, so to speak. So we knew, you know, when we go in numbers, we're gonna walk away with the trophy. It's just
I like that though, that you just said that you do it as a camp, because you would never think like a jiu-jitsu team would do it in that sort of way. Do you know what I mean? Where they would camp to get like yous are going through training camp now, because you only really think of that if it's going to be a fight, if an individual's building up for a fight.
Yeah, because some of them go individually. Like some people I met there were like just there individually from their clubs.
Oh, 100%. And we do have that. We have guys that go to the odd little one throughout the year. I'm going to go do this, or you know, we have girls like Tara who competes up and down the country and around Europe. She just medalled in like the Paris Open and stuff. She won it by herself. But we pick out 3 or 4 major competitions throughout the year and say, everybody signs up for this. We all go as a team. We all roll out. And anything you do, you know, aside that is just a bonus. Just a bonus, yeah.
What, and Tara's just strictly 210. She's learned all her jiu-jitsu through 210.
Tara is probably one of my oldest students. Tara's 18 now. I had her since she was 12 years old. She went through the kids system, through the primaries, she went through the teens program and came through into the adults, and now she runs the ladies program.
Does that give you pride to see people that you've trained? Obviously, because you started in a gym in London.
Oh, no, I started in Luton.
Oh, you started in Luton, then you train out of London as well, and now you've made 210. But now you're starting to see the people who you've been training from a young age, go off and start competing under the 210 banner.
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's amazing, because you give them the tools, and then you kind of just let them flourish, and then you see them off on their own path, and it's amazing to see. I love to see it.
Did you expect that when you first started it? Did you think it'd get to this level of where it is?
No, I'll be honest with you. I wanted a community. I always wanted a community. Me and Kieran always wanted this community style club, but we didn't see it growing as quickly as it's grown. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's the classes. Maybe it's the community. Maybe it's the vibe. Maybe it's the combination of all those things. And it just seems to be going from strength to strength.
Kieran said it earlier, man. It's a movement.
It is. It
it's
really
a
is. A movement. It's deeper than just a bunch of people just rolling on the mats. There's so much more. I think you've got to be there to witness it, and you've got to be around it. And after a while, you know, you look on the mat and there's like a 60-year-old dude and a 17-year-old dude, and you know, a guy who's got a full-time job, and then rolling with the full-time athlete. You know, it's everybody's under one roof. Everybody's from pretty much within the area as well. So.
I heard people were like travelling from outside the area as well to come down. And I was thinking, right, it's a bit mad. Like, so it's now a renowned club.
In the area, I'd say definitely, yeah. When we go to competitions, like people, you always hear people going, "Yo, who's this 210?" Like,
everyone always sees him in the gi.
Up and down. Like we're not an affiliated club. So I'm pretty sure Kieran explained this before, but we're not an affiliated club. We don't. My lineage is different from Kieran's lineage. So we have we come from 2 different teams. So that was one of the things that we wanted to set out to do when we started the club, which was, we don't want this club to be ruined by politics. We don't want it to be ruined by, you've got to wear these patches, you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and you've got to wear these gis, which is what jiu-jitsu is becoming, unfortunately. It's becoming more of a money spin by the year. So we're doing everything in our power to make sure it's like a politics-free place for people, where people can train hard, you know, make friends and make bonds with people that are going to last for the rest of your life. You know, I've trained with people for so long now. There's people, if I don't see them for 20, 30 years, I always say this, when I'm 60, 70, 80 years old in a wheelchair sitting in a park, and I look across and I see Rain, me and Rain will have that respect that we've shared over the years through jiu-jitsu. You know, that bond of trying to choke each other and trying to kill each other, especially him.
There's something
man, always
about
tries to kill me, bro. Yeah.
He just does that, bro. He's the dirtiest fucker.
Man.
Oh, we were rolling, yeah. And you know, when you go into someone, you like just move and reset the position.
Yeah.
So we're going into someone, and I'm on top of him, and I'm like, oh, we've bumped into someone, move back. So we move back. The guy just starts from fucking his knee and just jumps on top of me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing,
he
bro?
Don't ramp. He don't
dirty fucking fighter.
Doesn't ramp, bro. He just goes straight for it. I like it though.
No, it's good. It's good.
To me, that's my style of jiu-jitsu. I'm a bit less sportsman-like.
Yeah.
So I like that. When he does it, I'm like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go try choke me. Cool, wicked. Okay,
it's definitely hurt me at the minute. I'm hurting myself at the minute from doing it.
Yeah, but it's learning how to go from that stage of moving like an absolute psycho, which is what he's doing at the moment, to having more control. But that comes with technique. That comes with learning. Right now, you don't know nothing.
Yeah, that's why I feel like at the minute I have to move a little bit explosive, so then I can get into a certain position where I can be like, I sort of know this.
Like your fitness is like one of your main assets at the minute.
The only thing I've got is my fitness and to be fair, it's been
because it's hard in there.
Oh,
like rolling, like you don't understand it. Like when you're rolling, how fit you actually have to be. Like it is mental, especially when you've got no skill.
Yeah.
It's
and when the wrestling comes involved in it, that's when you're like, this is. It gets hard. You got to get back to your feet. When someone's shouting at you, get back to your feet, and you're like,
I can't get back to my feet.
I'm trying to get back to my feet. You know what I mean? It's hard.
And then when you are back on your feet, you're a bit like,
now when I used to watch UFC and I didn't really respect it. I used to think, this is boring. But now when I watch it and I see people, because I've gone through it myself, I'm like, I know what this guy's going for. He is digging so deep.
Listen.
And everyone judges it, but I'm like, it's probably. I thought I was generally a fit individual, but when I come to jiu-jitsu, I found out real quick. I was like, I'm not fit. Yeah. This fitness is completely different.
Everything you're saying, I went through myself. Like I started boxing, and I was like, shout out to Jermaine, right? So have you met Jermaine? One of the
G-Man,
G-Man who does the
philosopher.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks like a philosopher.
He's
vegan G-Man, right? Shout out to G-Man, bro. So he's the guy that got me into jiu-jitsu, and he was the guy who was like, come try this jiu-jitsu. And at the time I was strictly boxing, right? I love boxing from a little kid.
What year was this, if you remember? Like
this is like 2008, maybe, like
2008,
round about that time. And I was like, jiu-jitsu, I was like, nah, I'll just punch a man in the face and he'll drop. that was the goal. Just boom, one time he's gone, right hand. You know what I mean? Like, what do they say? Like, A&E cemetery. Like, what's his name? That's Marco Krokop, innit? He used to say like, A&E cemetery. Right? And then I went to one jiu-jitsu class. And, sorry, bruv. Yeah, I went to one jiu-jitsu class. And I was like, I can't walk the earth not knowing this now. Because I got wrapped up by him. And at the time, I'm like 100 something kilos. Jermaine's like 60, maybe like 60 kilos. And he's just wrapping me up. Just wrapping me up fun. He's been training like 3 months by this time, 3-4 months. And I was like, I can't walk the earth knowing that this exists and I don't know how to do it. So I was like, something has to change.
It's crazy as well. It's crazy like how someone can just have like a couple months on you, but they know just a little bit more and they can literally wrap you up. And it's like, it's so mad.
Yeah. He was always the perfect person to put, you know, when a new guy walks in the gym and he's like 100 kilos, he's roided to the gills, does a lot of bench work and that, and you're like, right, go in the corner and roll with that skinny guy with the beard. And I want him in the corner. I'm like, yeah, in the corner. He's not skinny now, he's hench now, Jermaine, but back then he was skinny. I'm like, yeah, go roll with him. And you'd watch this big 6-foot roid freak just get wrapped up time after time. And you're watching his ego just explode. And it was always like the best selling point for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, go with the guy in the corner. So yeah, credit to him. Credit to him for getting me into jiu-jitsu, really.
What, and ever since then it just stuck and that was you?
It just stuck, I think, because there was a close bond between a group of us. So it was like me, Jermaine, don't know if you know a professional MMA fighter, Jefferson George.
I've seen him on your profile.
Jefferson, yeah. So we all grew up on the same estate.
And these are all your guys, isn't it?
Yeah, these are all my guys. Like Jamie, you know Jamie Atkinson.
Yeah, the photographer.
Jay, yeah, we all grew up on the estate. Like we're all from Marsh Farm. So we would be hanging out all day together and then go, right, let's go train jiu-jitsu. So we just had that keeping us involved in the sport, and then it just stuck.
So how old was you when you got into jiu-jitsu?
I was like 21.
21.
About 21? Yeah, I want to say about 21. Jermaine's a bit younger than me, so he was like maybe 19 at the time when he got into it. And at the time...
It weren't really big, was it?
Nah, there was nobody. There was like...
It weren't nothing.
There was nothing. There was no scene.
Yeah.
There was no scene.
Because even over like... I started watching UFC when McGregor was fighting, like maybe the one before Chad Mendes, like around that sort of time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, there was no there wasn't a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms even then. Like when you're just searching it on your phone and that. Like mixed martial arts has got really big in the UK in the last 5 to 10. Like big, like really big. 5 years
through Conor McGregor as well. I would say he's a massive catalyst in getting jiu-jitsu into the mainstream, and it's mad because how much jiu-jitsu have you ever seen him use?
He's underrated.
It's crazy.
His jiu-jitsu is underrated.
I have heard. I don't.
You see some of the trips he done on Nate Diaz and that. It was like it was high level. It's got to be high level because Nate Diaz has got legit jiu-jitsu.
I was gonna say all I remember is Nate Diaz choking him out, but that's a story for a different day. That's the last thing I remember. I just remember him gassing out his shots. Down. Basic sweep. I think he went for the choke. Then he turned his back. Boom, choke.
He was out though by then when he was when he got rocked on the feet. He was like he was done after
Forced
that.
him into a corner.
Yeah, he just wanted a way out, and he gave his neck.
Yeah. Said there, look, there's the door.
Yeah, like
you can leave it if you want. Yeah, go. So yeah, that's just how we got into it really, and started in Luton. Trained under one roof on a different team, an older team, More Fire. Was disbanded now, but that was one of the main teams in Luton at that time, and we all came out together, and hence why we're all close now, like with other clubs from guys who we all used to train with, started their own clubs, and we've built that network. So yeah, pretty much that's how we got into it. My man looked like he was about to say something, and picked up the mic.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought I was going to say. It all matters, man. It all matters. Of course it matters.
I was going to say, in regards to the McGregor thing.
Put your mic on. Is it on?
Is it working?
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. With him, because I see that true Geordie guy saying that he reckons he'd batter Conor McGregor in an octagon, and obviously you said the guy coming in big.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what I mean.
You know True Geordie?
Yeah,
you seen him?
Yeah,
the bald-headed geezer.
The guy who got himself into.
And I was saying, saying it with my workmate the other day. I was like, no, McGregor would piece him up. Like even the size difference, it don't matter, man. Technique just outweighs.
It's funny you say that because I was going to mention that as well.
Was you? Yeah,
McGregor thing. Yeah, because I've been sitting here for weeks and I see like Vidal Riley talking about it, and obviously he's a professional boxer, and they were saying the same thing in a street fight because of how much he weighs and that he would win. And I was thinking, bro, I would take a blue belt over a big roidhead in a street fight easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's got no fighting experience, and this guy's a world level fighter.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how big the guy is, like he's got no fighting experience versus a world level fighter.
Yeah, just sitting in the gym.
Yeah, like you pumped weight.
People don't understand that you just chuck your body off balance. It could be like the slightest movement.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
and they don't understand that.
And
how
also,
you get swept.
Most guys that size have 2 punches in them.
Yeah,
3. They have from my experience, they have about a minute. No, not even that. I'd say I'm being generous.
30 seconds.
About 30 seconds tops. And then when that adrenaline starts kicking in and starts draining them, you watch all that muscle, all that oxygen pumping around your body now.
It's gone.
Is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. So it's like it's honest from my experience anyway.
No, I just wanted you to clarify that for me because I agree with you. Yeah, I reckon McGregor would.
Yeah, I think that's a conversation for the uneducated. Yeah. When I say uneducated, I mean uneducated on combat sports. I don't think that's a legit.
Because also
that's stupidest thing. It was the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, and I'm hearing a professional boxer sit there and say, "Oh, yeah, well, maybe not in a boxing ring, but in a street fight." Or it was the other way around. Maybe not in a street fight, but in a boxing ring, he would beat him in a boxing ring. I was thinking, he don't even know distance control. He don't even know distance control. So how's he going to beat him in a boxing ring?
He's just going to be swinging for dear life.
He's just going to be, and then like you said, 30 seconds, then swings.
Because also Logan Paul reckons he can beat Paddy the Baddy as well. And I'm just
in a mixed martial arts fight.
Yeah, he's saying
he would get wrapped up
under Zuckerberg. And,
these guys are delusional, man.
Is it Elon Musk? Because he's been training with
GSP.
GSP.
So Elon Musk is the one that's been training with GSP, and Zuckerberg's been training with
Adesanya.
Adesanya.
But Zuck's all been Zuck's pretty dark.
But you know he's only like 5 foot.
Zuck.
He's only like 5'6".
Zuck, he's small.
Whereas
Elon Musk is not trained. He's just started training now. Zuck's got a good 6 months on him.
Yeah, of course.
If you're doing a competition,
absolutely.
Like
my money's on him. I was about to say,
my money's on him.
My money's on him.
My money's on the person with more experience. If you said Elon Musk was a boxer or had some fighting background, then I could say, all right, it's a bit more. There's a
Do you reckon they pick it up quicker because they're kind of.
Because they got more time,
more time, but also like
they got more time.
How
in the day.
Smart they are. Does that come into play? How they could read things?
IQ. Listen. I'm going to say this. I'm going to clarify this right. I am not academically. I don't consider myself an academically smart person. Like I didn't do well at school. Like I wasn't like, you know, the older I get, the more I'm like, man, did I have ADHD when I was younger? I can't work it out right. But IQ, if you got high IQ and good work ethic, I tend to find those people do better at combat sports, especially things like jiu-jitsu. Because jiu-jitsu is like chess, right? You always got to be thinking 3-4 moves ahead. And you always find, you'll go to a jiu-jitsu gym and there'll be 3 or 4 absolute, like, sorry to say it, but 3 or 4 absolute, like, geeks. You know, guys that outside of that mat probably sit at home, watch anime, play computer games all day, stay indoors, have zero interaction with the outside world. But when they go to jiu-jitsu gym, they are phenomenal because they just understand it better. Sorry. So, to answer your question, probably, yeah. I think so. Definitely. That on top of the fact that they could have access to any coach in the world and all the time in the world.
And the time.
And the time, you know, I would expect them to be at a half decent level.
So how does the belt system work in jiu-jitsu?
Belt system works white, blue, purple, brown, black.
And how long does it roughly take? Or is it just depend on the person?
My instructor used to say, my old instructor, he used to say it's a window, right? It's not like a little letterbox. There's no like, you know, industry standard that everybody must fit through. It is a big window. You got to factor in things like age, what that person's intentions are, you know, what their goals are. You know, Diaz might want to be a completely, you know, recreational. I just turn up, I train 2-3 times a week. You know, I have a job, I have a family. Rain might be a full-time competitor, training 6-7 days a week, twice a day, competing every other month. So I measure your success differently to yours. I know that you're just trying to be a better version of yourself, whereas I know you're trying to be a world champion. So everybody gets graded differently. There's no real, for me, I've never graded 2 people the same, I don't think.
What about if the skill level was the same though? Would you still look at it and say, but he puts more effort, or do you go off skill level?
Yeah, absolutely skill level. Absolutely skill. But like I said, everybody's goals are different. You know, like if you're training 7 days a week and you're training 3 days a week, the reality is you're going to get better quicker.
Yeah.
It's just the reality.
Yeah, right? Of course, yeah.
You've got more time. Yeah. You've got more time. So I tend to put more on you than I would you, because I expect more from you, because I see what you're trying to achieve. Whereas you, I know you're a hobbyist. You know, you're just trying to stay fit. You're just trying to learn a way to defend yourself, and you enjoy it. And you give the odd tough role in the gym. I know down the line, I'm like, do you know what? In a year's time, he's gonna be a better version of himself. So I measure it by the individual, as opposed to, you know, there's no poster child on the wall that I go, this is the person you should be.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. It's a team sport in a way, because we all stem from teams. And it's a you know, a one-on-one combat sport, but in terms of belts, I measure it on the individual. Everybody's different. So I have guys who are I can't measure. If I have a guy that's 60 years old, I can't compare him to a 22-year-old and go, no, you need to be able to tap that blue belt over there. No, I can't. It's unrealistic. But yeah, my main thing is trying to make that person time served as well. Definitely time served. So if you got your blue belt tomorrow, automatically you start smashing purple belts. I'm not going to go, well, should I give him a purple belt? No. In my mind, I'm like, right, that person needs to serve X amount of time. And after that time, I can assess where they're at. Are they ready? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's move them up to the next level. Do they need more time? Give them more time. You know, I'm a massive, like, I know I've just sat there chatting about belts for like the last couple of minutes, but I'm very, not anti-belts, but it's like second or third, fourth in terms of priority for me. You know, ability, you know, your skill, you know, your discipline, your determination, turning up every week. That's more important to me. Learning, getting better. That's way more important to me than any belt.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, don't worry about belts. Belts will come as a result of your hard work.
It's more of just a reward.
Of course, it's more for me to know what level you're at. So I could go, right, I need to give you this so I can give you some sort of recognition to say, here you are. And then we do stripes in between as well. So,
do you think they need to start ranking for no-gi? Or put something into place? You can't rank up in no-gi, can you?
You can. Some gyms do. Some gyms literally go, here's a belt. And it's symbolic.
Yeah.
Because some gyms only train no-gi nowadays. But do I think I think they need something in place. You know, if you go to a competition and you're a blue belt and you're just chucked into this division that's like, let's say, you know, you have like beginner, I think they have like elite divisions, but elite division could be purple, brown, black. So I think they need to have something in place that's like, I don't know, class 1, class 2, like they do in Thai.
Yeah,
Like
A class, B class,
B class,
C
exactly,
class,
yeah. Something like that.
That does make more sense.
Yeah.
What do you prefer out of the two? Or does it just depend on the day, depend on the time?
At the moment, this week I prefer no-gi.
Yeah.
Kieran's going to be listening to this going, yes. But
the no-gi is good though.
Yeah. I started in the gi, and I feel everybody needs a foundation in the gi. But as the sport progresses, it is leaning more towards no-gi. However, I do feel like there's still room for the gi, definitely. But, you know, you look on TV, from a consumer standpoint, no-gi is probably a lot easier to watch for the armchair fan than it is, you know, the gi. You watch the gi, you watch two guys tie each other up in a lapel.
It's very technical.
You're going to be like, what's going on? I ain't got a clue what's going on. It looks cool, but what's going on? Whereas you watch, you know, the Abu Dhabi Combat Club tournaments, like you watch the ADCC, it can be exciting start to finish because there's constant action. You know, there's constant movement, there's takedowns, there's chokes, there's leg locks, there's all the things that probably doesn't get used in the gi enough, or isn't prohibited in the gi. You know, there's so much things that aren't prohibited in the gi, like heel hooks and stuff. So
how come heel hooks out? It isn't.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that question. I don't know.
You can't do a heel hook in the gi.
No, I don't understand.
That's an instant no.
Is there other leg locks you can't do in the gi? Is it like because it's harder to, like, if you get trapped in it or something, you can't really get out, like let go quick enough, or is there?
Listen, I can only say from my point of view, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So in the gi, you're allowed to do things like knee bars, toe holds, straight foot locks. That's allowed. That's allowed from
What's a toe
brown
hold?
belt upwards. Toe hold is a rotation of the toes, turning it sort of towards your arse, and then putting pressure on your knee. It's pretty gnarly if you get caught in it, and puts pressure on your ankle as well. It's pretty gnarly if you get caught in it.
It don't sound good.
Don't sound like
but it's only allowed from like brown belt upwards in competition. Obviously, at our place, we allow the guys to start learning that from the off. So when time comes, when you go later down the road, you're not there trying to play catch up with leg locks and stuff, which a lot of gyms do. We'd rather just open the door straight away, say, right, here's the leg lock game, here's this game, here's that game. So when you do get to that level, it's normal for you.
Yeah, you've been learning it.
Yeah, been learning, exactly.
Do you think it should be allowed, leg locks?
What, like heel hooks and that in the gi? Yeah, absolutely.
No, just in general.
Yeah, of course.
You like leg locks, yeah?
Listen, thanks to Kieran, I'll put it out there. Thanks to Kieran, because Kieran's knowledge of leg locks is, man, it's like, you've been there in those classes before, like, he's like a library when it comes to leg locks. And like the saying goes, like, why ignore like 50% of the human body just because of a rule set? You know, I'm a fan of now. Definitely, I'm a fan of leg locks. 100%. Leg locks, upper body submissions. You know, whatever wins the fight, whatever makes the person say tap, I'm all for it. And I don't think you should outlaw certain submissions just purely because you're not a fan of them, or maybe your gym doesn't train them, or you're not up to speed on it. You know, I think everybody needs to evolve. Everybody needs to play catch up, as what we're doing now.
I suppose at the end of the day, it was built for survival.
Of
And in
course,
a
man.
survival
Yeah,
standpoint,
man.
you're not going to think, I might tear this guy's knee ligament.
Listen, I don't
so
know.
I'm going to get off of you.
Exactly, tapping it. Oh yeah,
As long as you're responsible and like you're not got your ego. You only get hurt if your ego's whining.
Absolutely.
Because I'm just tapping.
Yeah,
You know when someone's got it on good. Because you can feel you can feel it. You can feel your knee. You can feel everything.
Same with the choke. Same with the armbar. Same with anything. Same with the wrist lock. Same with any kind of submission. You learn your limits and you know your limits. And as long as you're training with people you can trust, you should be able to do any submission.
It is a big trust thing, isn't it? Jiu-jitsu?
Massively, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm just recovering from a very bad rib injury. So coming back to training, I have to build I have a small sort of, not small, but I have a bunch of guys that I know, right, when I'm coming back from injury, I know these guys are going to make me work, but they're not going to try and hurt me. They're not going to let their ego get ahead of them, which is the case with most of the guys in the gym, to be fair. So I don't really have an issue rolling with anyone, but whilst I'm recovering, it's important that I be careful with who I'm rolling with.
Yeah.
Just because, I had a broken rib and I just don't want to go through that again.
Have you had any like bad eggs in the gym, or even at the gyms you've trained at?
Yeah, of
where
course,
where they're
of
like
course.
proper knob ends.
Yeah, of course, bruv. I'm not gonna call them out. But
No, yeah. Don't name them. Don't name them.
Shouting them out.
Yeah. I want to call out. So start cutting promos on dudes.
Yeah. I'm not naming them, but do they like get weathered out through the system, or do they?
Yeah.
Like, would you let them in your sort of gym if you didn't?
No,
if you didn't.
No, absolutely not. It's Jiu-Jitsu over the years has been given that sort of title of like douchebag filter, right? And for a long time, I believed it. I believed everybody who gets in Jiu-Jitsu, the knobheads just get abs. They get filtered out, right? People, they realize, because 9 times out of 10, they're usually the people with the big egos who can't handle getting tapped, and eventually they phase out, right? So you don't have to ever really see them, but that's not true. Some people do somehow make it through the cracks, and you do have to be worried that there are unsavory people out there, no matter what sport you're in. Whether it's people who are out there just to hurt people who've got bad ego problems, bad attitude, even things like as far as like racism and stuff like this is rampant in every sport. So luckily we have a very close community in this country with jiu-jitsu. Like everybody, it takes one message or it takes one phone call to know someone who knows someone at a gym you're going to. Let's say you was going to Manchester and there was a gym in Manchester. I could guarantee you I would know somebody who knew someone who trained at the gym you're going to go to. There's probably 2 degrees of separation between every gym in this country. So they are whittled out, but
you're gonna get your odd person.
You do kind of find yourself living amongst them sometimes. Luckily, at our club, we haven't had that. We do have rules and we do have expectations from everybody, and we've never really had to, have that conversation or be like, "Yo, out you go," or everybody so far anyway. You know what I mean? So we're very lucky. We're very fortunate to have a great bunch of guys and girls and kids at the gym. So yeah.
We'll touch on kids. So teaching kids.
Fucking paedophile. Yeah, we'll touch on kids. No, we fucking won't touch on kids, mate.
Hey, listen, that's you got.
That's the way he said it, though. Because Aaron, I will clip it up, yeah. I will clip it up, and I'll zoom into Aaron's face, because as soon as you said touch on kids, he was like, man's trying to get me done out here, bro.
Yeah, right. So we'll touch on kids jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What's some of the benefits? Because especially parents, if they're sitting on the fence whether to send their kids to jiu-jitsu or not. So I feel like some parents feel like if they send their kids, they could probably be more aggressive.
No.
Act out. Well, I can't see it.
So from my experience, I would say we've been teaching kids jiu-jitsu now for about 6 years now.
And you started by just teaching kids.
210 started just by teaching kids.
You've ruined it, mate.
Yeah. So 210 started by just teaching kids jiu-jitsu, and then we eventually. What happened was parents who trained or wanted to train were like, yo, is there any classes after the kids class? Because I'll just stick around and we'll train for an hour. And that's kind of how it got built. I was training with adults a little bit before that though. But at one point we were strictly teaching kids. And the benefits I would say is obviously self-defense. You know, I've had, you know, we live in it gets a bit annoying because we live in an era now where it's almost like they don't want kids to defend themselves, and they kind of want kids to be like, I don't even know, like it's just
confused,
like, just confused like snowflakes. But
that's probably the only word we can say now at the minute. But it basically is, like, and they're gonna take that word away soon.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't say flake. But so what I would say is definitely self-defense. You know, when I hear a kid tell me that, you know, there was a kid bullying him in the playground and he defended himself, and now the kid don't bully himself anymore. The kid don't bully him anymore. That's my job done. That's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, cool. And I said, and you don't bother him? You don't bother him anymore? No, I don't bother him. He just don't bother me anymore. I said, cool. My job is done. So that's the most important thing, is self-defense, right? Especially the world we live in now. 2 is health. Like I've seen kids who, if you'd asked me if they were maybe overweight, pre-diabetic, obese, watching them shape into like an athletic sort of build and walk in the room, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's because they train 2-3 times a week. So definitely fitness and health, and confidence. Watching a kid walk in the room, you know, looking at the floor, not really knowing how to talk, because I don't know if you know this, but these kids do not know how to communicate nowadays. They don't know how to communicate face to face. A lot of them anyway. They come in, they look at the floor, and they don't really know how to just ask for something, because they sit behind their phone all day talking. That's how they communicate. So watching them have that build those communication skills and the confidence to when they walk in the room, they give you that high five, and they high five everybody in the room, and they have that camaraderie with all the other kids in the room. Like that's second to none for me. I love to see that. So if any parents whenever parents ask me, those the main things that I like the main positives.
It is a good bond, man. After you finish a good session, there's the energy it's hard to describe. It's like being in a tribe. It's just everyone's
We're all sipping the Kool-Aid, bro. We're all sipping the Kool-Aid. That's you know, I prefer teaching kids than I do teaching adults, and I love teaching adults, but I prefer teaching kids.
Has it helped you understand jiu-jitsu more? It's
helped me understand jiu-jitsu more. It's helped me understand myself. It's helped me become a better human, a better dad, so much things have been improved in my life from teaching kids jiu-jitsu. You know, and I can't say that for everybody. I can only speak for myself. I know when I watch them football coaches on the field on a rainy Thursday night, and they're doing the kids football training, like they look like they're losing the will to live. But for me, yeah, like I've you know, it's great to see them have that bond, and they'll always have that bond. You know, especially the ones that have been training 3-4 years together, 2-3 times a week, every week. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I love teaching the kids. They're amazing. They're like sponges.
They pick it up quick.
Oh man, and that's credit. And again, that's credit to their generation. They absorb information a lot quicker than my generation would. You know, so yeah, kids jiu-jitsu, man. It's
definitely character building.
Oh, massively character building, and it gives them that discipline. You know, it gives them that 2-3 hours of the week where they haven't got a phone in front of them. You know, they're not sat in front of a computer game. They're just like, and I always say this. I say this at least once a month to them. Things like jiu-jitsu are some of the last bits of actual reality left in the world. Everything is digital. Everything is done behind a phone. Eventually, you do your banking, you do your shopping, you do everything without communicating with another individual. Whereas a child has to turn. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is scary. You know? No, because you said it, like, yes. It's true, because we're getting more and more distant.
Exactly. So it's the one thing where they turn up and they have to communicate. They have to bond. They have to be physical. There's no running from it. So yeah, absolutely, man. I'm a massive advocate for kids doing jiu-jitsu, definitely.
What's it like been training down, you trained down London Fight Factory?
Yeah. So I've been at London Fight Factory since 2017, I think. Yeah, so like 6 years. Yeah, it's great.
And what's the caliber of fighters down there?
In the gi, it's I've had the worst performance, like the worst roles ever. Like when I mean worst, I mean like I had nothing at that gym. Like the first couple of times I went there, right? Imagine I'll tell you a story. The second time I went to this gym, yeah. So I went there for a seminar years ago, and I met the instructor there, a guy called Louise, who ended up becoming a very close mentor of mine. So shout out to him, and shout out to everybody at London Fight Factory. And my first session there, I got battered by everybody. Right, I literally got battered. I got on the train and I said, "I'll just stay at Luton. I'll just stay where I'm comfortable and life is good and I can just battle white belts and feel good about myself."
And what belt was you at the time?
I was brown belt.
Yeah.
Right. So I spoke to my missus. My missus, very understanding missus I've got, by the way. So she understood my process and she understood the my way of thinking. And she said, "Look, go back, train hard, and after a while it'll become the norm." And I went back for the second session, right, thinking, it was a lunchtime session. It was great. And every Thursday, so we have Porrada Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got that idea from this gym because they do Porrada Thursday.
And if they don't know about the Fridays, they're brutal.
Yeah.
I come out of there, I'm just
crawling.
like, oh my God.
So it was worse there because it was 2 hours.
Mm.
Yeah. So these 2-hour Thursday sessions, I turn up and I'm feeling good about myself, right? So I'm sitting there and my instructor Louise goes, "Aaron, my friend is just off the plane. Can you just give him some rounds? He just wants to get straight into training." And I look up and I'm like, "That's Gilbert Burns." You know Gilbert Burns?
The UFC fighter.
Dorino, right?
Dorino. I was rolling with him, giving him some rounds.
So I look and I'm like, "That's Gilbert Burns." Like, alright, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna give him rounds. Listen.
Just knowing Gilbert Burns, knowing it, just looking at him, you're just like,
bro, they're one of the nicest guys, yeah. But my God, the beating this man gave me. Like, I wanted to put my belt on the mat and just give it to him and be like, "Big man, it's yours." Put it on your wall with all your scouts in the room. I said, "It's yours." And it was really, like what you said, character building. Turning up every week and getting my ass handed to me. Smashing down my ego and rebuilding it. It was one of the best decisions I ever made because I got myself into a rut. I got myself into a rut with my old team because I was being depended on to teach too much. I wasn't learning.
you weren't getting tested.
I wasn't getting tested. I was getting rounds, but I wasn't getting tested. So I needed that full on from the ground up rebuild again. And thank you to those guys because that's what they gave me. They helped rebuild me and they helped, give me a new training ground that was, massive to me rebuilding myself and relearning again, and not having that sort of, "I've been training for years, I know everything," because you don't know everything. You got to take yourself out of that comfort zone. Taking myself out of that comfort zone was the best decision I ever made.
And they have renowned people coming in and out of that gym.
Yeah,
Champions.
In that gym, I've trained with everybody.
Trained at
Cyborg, Damien Meyer.
Chris Cyborg?
Not Chris Cyborg.
Oh.
Different Cyborg. No. Should batter me. Michelle Nicolini. So many like world champions after world champions they have coming through there. And yeah, that's what really cemented that saying for me that there's back to what you're saying about Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz is there's black belts and then there's black belts.
There's a different level.
Their level is just
there's black belts out there that'll make me look like a white belt, like without even easy.
It's so mad the levels
Because Damien Meyer's jiu-jitsu is like
that's probably the best jiu-jitsu I've seen in
even in mixed martial arts
Ever.
With a wrestler they don't even want to take him down because his jiu-jitsu is nasty
because he goes to your back.
Yeah,
job done. He's just so proficient at it, just so good at what he does. And it was nice. I've trained with him a couple of times. It was just nice to get into his way of thinking. Into his approach to teaching is like very detailed. It's all like pinpoints and projectors and like hit the lights, and you're there watching these little micro movements, and he really like picks apart at every position. It's do
you not think they're the people that get to the next level though?
Absolutely,
that do it like that, because you got like John Danaher, who actually never really competed.
No, absolutely.
But he's so they do a lot of watching.
Oh yeah,
and like studying it. Like Gordon Ryan was saying, he trains 6 times, but when he's not training, or 7 times, he trains every day. But even when he's not training, he's studying.
I feel like that's how you get
John Danaher is probably one of the greatest minds in combat sports history. I would say it's tough to listen to sometimes. Like it's a bit like even his little posts I'm reading, I'm like,
I was watching a video of him the other night. I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep.
Yeah, you will. You will.
His philosophy.
Listen, him and he does it with a Brazilian
Bernardo Faria.
Yeah. Them two, man. I was just like, I was trying to watch it. I was just
again, he's somebody I trained with before and beat the brakes off of me, bro.
Yeah.
I was training with him in Geneva, and this guy with a smile on his face just tore me limb from limb, man. There's a video of it somewhere. I'll find it somewhere. You watch it and just be like, LOL.
But you're training with like some of the best people in the world.
No, I'm training with some good guys, definitely.
Like the best people in the world. Like some of the best people in the world.
But
like,
and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
When I train with these guys, it's a reminder that.
And if not, they've trained with
some of the best people in the world. Yeah.
It's like everyone's passing down skills.
And that's the beauty about Jiu Jitsu. Like, could you ring up?
It's very like philosophical, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Everyone's got their own, like Boy said, it's like art. Everyone's got their own art.
Yeah, of course.
They bring their
own blend to it.
Yeah,
of course. But like what you're saying about, like, I can't ring up Michael Jordan and say, "Yo, fancy a pickup game." I won't even get his number. I won't even get his security's number. I won't even get the neighbor of his security's number. I won't get close to him. I can ring up somebody who would know Gordon Ryan, or I can ring up somebody who would know that it's such a small network, because you can train with your idols very easily. It might cost you, but
it's doable.
It's doable. That's very doable. Yeah, no,
that's not even doable.
No way. He'll be like, bruv, security, like this guy off.
Yeah,
absolutely, man, absolutely. But it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing to be able to train with your idols like that, man.
I remember you saying once in the gym before you tried out for the Euros. You tried twice for the Euros?
I went to do Euros twice and I failed miserably. Did I say this at the end of class, didn't I?
Yeah.
What are the Euros?
The Euros is open to
just
anybody.
the Europeans.
Yeah, it wasn't a trial. Anybody can enter the Europeans. Like Jermaine's done the Europeans bag of times. Have you met Paul Malcolm?
Yeah, Paul. Yeah,
Paul Malcolm is. I'm gonna bait him up here. He's 60 years old.
60,
bruv. 60 years old.
He looks young, man.
3-time European champion. Think about that. Man gets up every morning and jogs. Trains every day. So big up to Mali. 60 years old.
He's a character as well.
And I'm just going to quickly leave you with something before I answer your question. Is he said something to me that sticks with me every single day. And I said, how do you train at 60 years old? He's probably going to turn around and say he's 59. If he's 59, sorry, but he's near 60 in it, right? This guy lives down the road.
Round it up.
Round it up in it. Round it up. He says, when it's gone, it's gone. You ain't getting it back. So do it whilst you can. Because when it's gone, it's gone. And that haunts me. Like when I hear that, I'm like, yo, this guy's right. This man boxed his whole life, wrestled, done jiu-jitsu, traveled the world doing combat sports. So when he says, when it's gone, he means it. However, let's go back to your question, right? So, the last 2 times I went to the Euros, the week before I broke my ribs, and I came in overweight. Both the last time, heavily overweight, and it was embarrassing, and it was a real reality check for me to take my nutrition and my diet and my training seriously. To answer your question, it's long story short.
What, like you had to weigh in?
Yeah, I weighed in all confident at my house. I was like, yeah, I'm a kilo under. I turn up, I'm like 2 kilos over. I'm like, what?
How was it? Something to do with the scales? With the scales?
Yeah,
off?
I just had crap scales at home, and also I was just being unprofessional about it, and I was just being lazy. This was at a time in my life where I didn't understand, nutrition properly. I didn't understand strength conditioning and all the other things that contribute to competition. And if I knew what I knew now, that wouldn't have been a thing. But yeah, so my goal is to compete at the next Euros should be end of January 2024. So that's my goal. Yeah, get back on the competition scene. And
when's the last time you competed?
It's been a few years, man.
Yeah.
I think purple or brown, going into brown probably.
Yeah.
That was the last time I competed, and I was competing on and off then from white all the way up. Competed at a load of competitions, had a load of fun, you know, all around, even far as places like Switzerland and stuff like. And then around about the time I got my brown belt, I started to go through some stuff in regards to like anxiety and stress and that. And took about 3 years of trying to work out what it was. And then once I realised what it was, and I was able to be like, right, okay, cool, let's work on, again, like I said, that rebuild, being honest with myself and talking to people, which I think like as men we don't do.
No,
we just go and explode, and
yeah, mine's like a champagne bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's exactly that. So, I started to build up a lot of anxiety. Not it wasn't even jiu-jitsu related, but it ended up affecting my ability to want to compete and all these things. So yeah, just getting over that now, and I'm in a great place, and I'm training hard, and I've got all you guys around me, and I'm like, let's go.
Gym's good, man.
Yeah, man. Let's
get. When I go there, I just love it because everyone's on a good level. It's probably the first time I felt like competing, and I'm competing with people that want to compete.
Yeah, and nobody
at a better level,
and nobody's there giving you a hard time if you lose. Like nobody's like, that's the beauty about it.
But I feel like that's the advert, like you said, like going back to people who probably make it, why they're so humble, because you got to enjoy the adversity. You got to enjoy. Not everything's gonna go your way. Nah. Like some roles you go to,
more often than not.
Yeah, you get battered. Like the other day, I just got battered, and it's just like some people could go home and be like, "Oh, that's it, I'm done." Yeah. Well, I know I just turn up again.
Yeah.
How can I not get better? It's impossible.
It's impossible.
You have to get better,
bruv.
It's growth. You're gonna beat me down. You're gonna beat me down. But I swear to God, in 2 years, a year, I'm gonna batter you.
Yeah.
If not 5 years, if not 10 years, I'm coming.
It's 100%. 100%.
Just I'm coming.
You play FIFA, right, on semi-pro mode, right, and then go, yeah, I'm sick at FIFA. I'm wicked. I'm great. And then you go to the flipping FIFA bloody, I don't know, whatever it is they call it, the FIFA. They have the FIFA World Championships. You're getting your ass handed to you. Like you have to go through you know what I mean? You have to go through the dirt. You have to go through the hardship to grow.
And you only learn when you lose as well. You don't learn when you're rolling people over.
It's so cliche, but you hear that win or learn, right? Yeah. There's no losing. There's only win or learning. And yeah, you lose, but the lessons you gain from it, man, are you know what I mean, tenfold to what you feel to losing. So I think there's only benefits. There's only ever benefits from competing, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm trying to get back on that road, and
competing's not that bad, like in the sense of like getting actually like beat up. Sometimes the rounds in the gym are worse than training. Like Fridays are much worse because you could go out,
goes on for longer,
or you could go.
I might set the timer for 10 minutes. Now you got to roll with this monster for 10 minutes.
Yeah. We done 5 minutes up there.
Not even telling anyone, just setting it. 5 minute timer.
Yeah, we done 5 minute timers over there. I didn't realise. I was thinking, these are just 3 minute
What do you do
rounds.
Normally? 3 minutes at the end. It's normally 5 minutes. Yeah, I thought
sometimes they're free, no?
So it depends on the numbers. So if we've got a lot of people in the gym, we might go, if there's loads, we might do some people on, some people off, and then we'll do it 3-4 minute rounds and do loads of that. No rest.
That's when I'm thinking, these are just 3 minute rounds, and I find out they're 5, and I'm at the end, I'm like, I'm toast.
What is the context into the Friday session you do? What do you call it again?
Porrada Friday. Porrada's like I'll have to get my wife in it. She's Brazilian, so she'll be able to put the context on the explanation of the word. But like,
does it mean like street fight?
Nah, it kind of means like, it's kind of a swear word that means like, listen, I don't want to misquote it.
Keep it PG.
Keep it PG. Not even keep it PG. I just don't want to misquote it, innit? Like,
just
I'm not Brazilian.
What is it in
Porrada?
Okay. But what does it entail, like in the gym? What's the difference between a normal session?
That's the only way I can explain it. Yeah.
That's the session that's gonna fuck you shit up.
Okay, that's the session that's gonna make you realize like, oh, okay,
you're in Helm's Deep. You know what I mean? You're like you're in the trenches, hard hat.
This is the intensity.
Apparently means brawling, but like
brawling.
It has to do with the intensity which a match or role takes place. Porrada is a common term in BJJ in Brazil. It has to do with training all out whenever you step on the mat.
Yeah. And that's kind of
but brawling in there
kind of the closest you're going to get to actually competing is Porrada Fridays.
Hence the reason why the numbers are the lowest on a Friday.
They actually are. They're the best days.
It's great because it's and I said them sessions aren't for everybody. You know, we don't let a lot of the beginners come to the Friday sessions, so as we don't let them come to a lot of the no-gi sessions because they are a lot more. The intensity is a lot more higher. You know, it's a lot more about winning in those rounds, as opposed to in the other rounds throughout the week. It's more about learning. And keeping it technical and so forth. But yeah, the Friday sessions are about, you know, turning that royal blue gi navy, you know, through sweat. Like it's about literally, you know, crawling out as opposed to walking out, and replicating that feeling of absolute exhaustion that you will feel in a competition. And just making it the norm, just making that feeling feel normal, like it's nothing. Because
what is the time limits in a competition? It depends what competition.
Yeah, so your general rule set is IBJJF, right? So your IBJJF run on white belt 5 minutes, blue belt 6 minutes, purple belt 7 minutes, brown belt 8 minutes, black belt 10 minutes. So and then it depends on the competition. So some competitions might be every division is 5 minutes. Like Grappling Industries, for instance. But yeah, so generally, depending on your belt, is depending on the length of the match, and they will tend to go in like knockout style, tournament style. So semi-final, finals, etc.
And your daughter's involved in the space, and your wife.
Yeah.
Did you get both of them into this, or is your wife doing this?
Listen, it was a plan of mine. Yeah, it was a plan of mine. It was. It just took a little bit longer than expected. So my daughter's been training jiu-jitsu and judo for about 6 years now. She trains more than me, man. I think she trains about 5 days a week, as does my wife. She got into jiu-jitsu a bit later, but she's been training now for about 6 years. And yeah, it makes my life easier because I don't have to, you know, there's not that conversation of, oh, but you're going training again tonight. It's like, cool, come to the gym with me. We'll all train.
Yeah. yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It honestly, so many people say to me like,
it's because everything's similar. Everyone's on the same wavelength.
Exactly. Everybody doing the same thing. All our conversations at home are about jiu-jitsu. We've got mats in my yard, so I can just put the mats out and be like, do this position, do that, you know. And I've never pressured them. I never said, you got to go to the gym, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was all organic. And eventually they all, like my wife competed last week. She's just started getting her toe into competing. She's done 2 competitions this year. I'm hopefully gonna.
Well done to the ladies as well.
Yeah,
because there's some savages.
Let me tell you something, right?
And they train with the boys as well sometimes.
Yeah, we've got some of our ladies train in both the ladies class and the mixed classes. And I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of what we've built in terms of the ladies, in everything, of course. But getting a ladies team is something that is notoriously difficult because you got women coming into a room full of men going, nah. and
getting physical as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and right, you know what I mean? If I was a woman, and I walked into a room and I see you man in there, and I'll be like, nah, bruv, I'm gone. I'm doing a U-turn. So, you know, the ones that do both, I'm like, respect to them. And even the ones that are doing like the ladies classes only, and you know, it's going so well. It's something that we did envision, we did plan for, but it just came along a lot quicker than we expected. And it's getting that same ethos and that same vibe and building that same, the word you use, tribe in the ladies as we do with the mixed level. So it's been amazing, man, watching them.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone comes there, that you'd realise when you come there, it's like the community. It's like a family.
Yeah, of course,
the first
man.
time I come there, I was just like, I ain't going.
Yeah.
No, it's like the more I do it now,
Yeah.
the more I'm starting to be like, oh, you know what? I don't really want to train and run anymore. I want to just
do jiu-jitsu.
I just want to do
You
jiu-jitsu.
used the complete opposite before, innit? You didn't really want to train with anyone. Like no one can. Yeah.
Yeah, no one could like. I felt like if I trained with
Team
like
sports,
friends or done like CrossFit or done running, like no one could match the vibe. Now I'm going to
Who's
the
that
gym
guy?
where I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got to compete.
Yeah,
and
of
people are a
course.
little bit higher than me, and it's like, oh, you're the bar, you're the bar, and I'll you're the bar, and I'm like, yeah.
That's good. That's healthy because you understand the process and you understand how progression works.
Yeah, of course.
Some
It's
people-
lucky I've already
You've been through
done.
that
I've
already.
been through adversity on other things, and
No,
now
that's
coming
wicked.
to this, I respect it a lot more because
Yeah,
there is an art, and it does take time.
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
will
cool.
get it over time.
yeah, sick.
What, is 210 something you'd want to do full time?
We had this conversation with Kieran, and he was
Listen,
like,
I honestly, right now, if you ask me, no, because I don't want business to get in the way of community, and I feel like if you go down the full time route, it gets in the way. So I never say never, but right now I'm enjoying the community side of things. I'm enjoying what me and Kieran have built. Not just me and Kieran, but everybody around us. Like that gym is like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like they say it takes a village to raise a kid, yeah? That gym is the kid that's been raised by a village. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just me and Kieran. It's the guys that help with the kids. It's the girls that help teach the ladies class and also help with the kids. It's the people that help build, you know what I mean, the battening around the mats, help donate the gym equipment, help clean the mats, help, you know, promote social media and do all the other things. It's so much that goes into it that we just enjoyed that element of it, like that community vibe part of it.
I think it happened
Naturally.
by not meaning for it to happen because, like you said,
Yeah, it's organic.
It's community driven.
Yeah,
like you said, you've got the
exactly.
lunchtime classes.
Absolutely.
You got them on Mondays now.
Bruv, lunchtime
And
classes
they
were
are
like a myth. Lunchtime classes were a myth at one point. You told me I was going to be lunchtime class. Lunchtime class, I'm at work, man. But now with everybody works from home. So you got all these lot that work from home.
That want to get mixy.
That you just want to mix it up on their lunch break. And they bring their laptops with their little, you know, they got them little USB things that like move the carrot like this. Yeah. Genius, man. Genius.
Yeah, I
Genius.
know.
Would you do any morning classes?
Eventually, yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
love that, man. A little 6 o'clock.
Some people
down with it.
Some people like to train, get it out of the way early in the morning. You know, eventually, who knows? Who knows what the future holds for us? But yeah, I just really enjoy it. Me and Kieran, you know, have a great bond on the mat and off the mat. You know, Kieran is a good friend of mine. He's like, guy's like my brother.
Both got big personalities.
Yeah,
Your philosophy in life's
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, we're like the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
You know, we both, you know, we realised we had a lot in common. You know, we like the same music. You know, both Man United fans. We're both like, there's so much of us. You know, that we're so much common interests that, you know, we had a friendship before we'd even started teaching. And he understands me, I understand him, and we listen to each other. You know, I know he's going to teach something completely different to what I'm going to teach, but I respect because I know his knowledge on that aspect of jiu-jitsu. So everything works really well, and off the mat as well. You know, he's really when it comes to things like merchandise, like he's the self-proclaimed merch king, bruv. Like, if you know anything about merchandise, this brother, like, he can make a rash guard out of anything. Like,
Yeah, was it his idea about the top?
listen,
That's it.
He put that up quick as well, man.
he had that done. When you see some of the stuff he sends me, I'm like, man.
You know what it is? I swear down, the rash guards that could compete. Because I think they're the best rash guards.
Oh, we've had
Honest.
Them pink ones are bad.
we've had
honest,
people
them
from different clubs be
Yeah.
like, I want this rash
Yeah.
guard. Like, where can I buy this? Have
Now
got-
that
have you got a shop?
UMAC event, 3 people asked me, they're like, oh, where can I get the set?
Yeah, was that everyone rolled out in pink?
Yeah, everyone rolled
that's
out
sick
in pink.
because you could be
yeah.
like, yeah, there's rain over there, there's
Yeah.
my man over there because there's just bright pink thunderbolts on the rash guard. So yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, he's
How did you two meet? Through jiu-jitsu?
through jiu-jitsu. Yeah, so we was both. He came. You met Babs.
Met Babs,
You met
yeah.
Babs. So Babs,
He's quite quiet though.
he's silent.
He's
man.
chilled.
Silent ninja, bruv. Like, he brought Kieran to jiu-jitsu when Kieran was like a karate man, like done a bit of MMA and was like, bun jiu-jitsu, it don't work. and he won't mind, he will tell you that. I'm pretty sure he must have told you. I was gonna say he must have told you that. So he came on the vibe of karate don't work. Not karate don't work. It's all karate and everything, all that stuff that he says. And we just again, like we just hit off, man. We just became good friends. Like we've traveled around together for jiu-jitsu and stuff, and over time when I started teaching the kids, he got involved. And then we just realised, like, yo, let's just run it together and go from there, man. And yeah, Kieran's a great guy and a wizard, bruv. That man is a wizard. He's like, like Gandalf or something with the beard, man. Some of the stuff I see him pull off, and I'm like, bruv, you're in your 40s, man. You shouldn't be able to do that. Like I always say, like, and I'll put it out there, Kieran, for his age, Kieran is the best no-gi guy at his weight and his age in the country.
He is serious. When I watch him, I'd put money on. Like he's different.
That's a big accusation.
I'll tell you now, bruv. I will tell you now. He's for his age.
Yeah.
Obviously, young guys different.
Do they do like age limits though?
Yes.
Which is a good thing for that.
You give me that. You give me a 40 to 45-year-old, same age as him, no-gi. My money's on Kieran all day long.
Yeah.
He's trying to, like, when I watch him and people trying to get past Gardner, I'm just like,
he's a puzzle, man.
Like, he baffles me. Like,
It's a puzzle.
He's like a little monkey, isn't he?
Yeah, bruv, it's a puzzle. If you get a good position on Kieran, you'll know about it, because the next round you have will be a couple of days later, and the intensity will go up, and you'll be like, oh shit. He's a great guy, man, and he's, as much as I do, Kieran is. There's like, without Kieran, man, there's no 210. I'll tell you that now. There's so much effort that he puts into the details. He's a details man. Like, the branding, the imagery, the social media stuff, merchandise and all these things. He's a massive in getting a lot of the big team rollouts to competitions. Like he makes everybody believe in themselves. Like, he does a great job. He's a great coach as well, man. Like, his no-gi sessions has changed my jiu-jitsu so much. So I owe a lot to him. I said that the other thing. Was you there at that session? I said that the other day.
Yeah, did. Yeah.
I was like, listen, like,
this is serious.
This is the guy. And it's been a great partnership so far, because you have to have that person that you can say, yo, I don't agree with this. And they turn around and say, you know what? Because of the respect I have for you, cool. And vice versa. If Kieran turns around and says, no, Aaron, we can't do this. We should do this. I'm going to listen to him because I trust him. You know what I mean? Because you're like partner in crime. Like, Kieran is my partner in crime when it comes to this club. So
that's what you need in life. That's
how things
work,
man. I wouldn't be able to do this by myself, and I'm sure Kieran will say the same thing. It takes a team. It takes a very well-oiled machine to run this club, man, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey so far, and got some changes coming, and we got some improvements coming. So stick
big
around.
Things come. But rumor has it, someone said to me today, they just said 3 words. They said birthday, Shark Tank, above the bank.
Birthday. Who said that? It was Kieran, didn't it? 100% that was Kieran. He said birthday Shark Tank behind the bank.
Yeah.
Listen, it's the one time, that these men saw me puke up, right? Allow me. Now we used to do a birthday Shark Tank back in the day. So if it was your birthday, you got the Shark Tank. You got fresh rounds after fresh rounds. And if I remember rightly, because we was at a gym above the bank, the old... what bank was it? I think it was like Royal Bank of Scotland or one of them, where it's like a Creams now. In town there's like a Creams.
Oh yeah.
So that used to be a bank. We was above there, and there's definitely Kieran. And I remember I just got battered so bad that day, and I remember Kieran was my last round, and he'll never let me forget that. And all I remember was someone putting a bucket in front of me, and I was just like chundering left, right, and centre, man. So yeah, big up to Kieran for letting that story get out, because I know it's him. I know you ain't gonna say no names, but I know it's him.
How many man in the Shark Tank?
Oh, bruv, there must have. I don't know, man. It felt like it went on forever. I couldn't tell you.
When you're done, you're done.
How many minutes of a Shark Tank are you doing? Are you doing a fresh guy every couple of minutes?
Yeah, it was like a fresh guy like every like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. Just continuous. And I still remember, because Kieran was a white belt at the time, and I can still remember he's standing over me, and he's just like, I'm so knackered, and he's just making my life hard for me, man. And I just remember going, I'm going to be sick after this. And he's smiling like, looking me in my face, and I'm like, yeah. And then I remember they put the bucket in front of me, and I just started being sick everywhere, man. Happens.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, it happens, man. It happens. But yeah, big up to Kieran for telling that story. My mind's going, have I got any Kieran stories?
What was life like before you got into jiu-jitsu? Obviously growing up in Luton and stuff.
Yeah, listen, I'm glad you brought it up, because like I love Luton. I love, you know, people say, oh yeah, I love Luton, but they only love a certain aspect of Luton. They only love a part of Luton. They say, oh, I love Luton, but I don't like going there, or I don't like, no, man. I'm a massive fan of this town. Like I grew up in Marsh Farm. If you know me for longer than 30 seconds, I will tell you that. There's 2 things that I will tell you. I'll tell you that I'm Scottish and Jamaican, and I will tell you that I'm from Marsh Farm.
Scottish and Jamaican.
You know. Yeah, big up to all my Scottish people, and big up to all my Jamaicans, right? But yeah, so very proud Lutonian. My life was, I had no direction before jiu-jitsu. Like I think I told you, I think one of the first conversations I had with you. Yeah. I said if I didn't have jiu-jitsu, I was definitely gonna end up in jail or something worse. I wasn't a bad boy. I'm not out here trying to be some self-confessed, reformed man or nothing like that. There's people out there that are way badder than me. But I was definitely heading into a place where money and misdirection was leading me into making bad choices. And jiu-jitsu basically made me realize, like, yo, just do this instead. Like, I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, it definitely, I hate saying it, but people say, jiu-jitsu saved my life. Us, like, you hear all that stuff? And I hear
a lot of people say the same thing.
And I hear people say that, I'm like, bro, come on, man. But it's so true. It is true. And that might come in the form of boxing. That might come in the form of, as a teenager, boxing kept me out of trouble. So for some people it might be boxing, for some people it might be karate, it might be gaming, it might be something.
It's just that discipline, not to go, oh no, I'm going to choose this over this.
Yeah, absolutely. So life before that, like, I wasn't really doing much. Like I said, I used to box as a kid. I stopped doing any kind of combat sport for about 4 or 5 years, and then I got into jiu-jitsu, and it came along at the perfect time, because all I was doing was making bad decisions, potentially putting myself in a position where I'm like probably going to end up in jail at some point, and chasing gal, and that was it. That was it. And it really put so much into perspective for me when I started training, because I was on a mat literally with police officers, doctors, nurses, firemen, stay-at-home dads, so many, and I'm just like, hold on. So nobody cares what I do off the mat. Nobody cares about my financial situation. Nobody cares about my status. Nobody cares about none of that, because we're all just got these jackets on and we're all just trying to choke each other. I'm like, man, just puts things into perspective for me and made me realize.
So like a wake-up call.
A massive wake-up call. That and family. Like, don't listen. And this is, and I'm not going to bore people with this, but if you're lucky enough to have family around you, and you're lucky enough to be in a position where your family can check you if they need to and put you in line, man, respect that and appreciate that, because that's worth its weight in gold. I'm lucky to have a lot of women in my life. My missus is going to be listening to this going, what does he mean? You got a whole heap of women in my life. Nah, what I mean is, like, I've got a lot of aunties. I've got 5 aunties from both sides.
That's a lot of aunties, man.
I've got 5 grandmothers. You're being confused right now. You go, how's this man got 5 grandmothers? That doesn't mathematically doesn't even make sense, right? So not all of them are around anymore, but growing up I had 5 grandmothers, right? I had 2 grandmothers, I had 2 great grandmothers, and I had a woman that was a grandmother figure. and my own mother as well. I grew up with my mum. My mum was a single mum, so that was a huge. Like I said, it takes a village to raise a child, right? That's what I said, yeah. And they are testament to that, because when I messed up, they would tell me you messed up. And having that support system around me, and having those females around me, as well as my dad, and as well as male influences, of course, they're just as important, if not more. Maybe take that one back, but they're just as important, most definitely. But yeah, having that family and that support system around me to let me know, like, listen, you done this, check yourself, get yourself back in line, and achieve, believe and achieve, right? That's the buzzwords. So yeah, credit to them as well as jiu-jitsu, not just jiu-jitsu, but my family and the people around me. I'm very blessed and lucky to have them around me. And if you have that, like anybody listen to this, if you have that, don't take it for granted. Because like Paul said, like when I said that earlier in that comment earlier, when it's gone, it's gone. And when they're not around you anymore, and when you wish they were around you to help you, give you that guidance and give you that, that advice, that wisdom, ain't gonna be there no more. So don't take advantage of it. Be what's the word? Absorb all that, man. Absorb it all. Yeah, be a sponge, man. All that love, all that care and attention. Don't overlook it, because it's important for all of us. If you're lucky, if you're blessed like that. Not everybody is.
Because when you're younger, you get sucked into things that it's sometimes not the person who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, way out of character.
You're doing things that were just never you. Even when I look back when I was younger, I just look and think, this was never me.
No,
but
it's
because that's the only thing you know at the time.
Yeah, of course. And it's your environment.
Yeah, it's your environment, and you're chilling. And when you do wake up, you're like, wow, man.
I was doing that.
Yeah, I was doing that. I'm glad I woke up.
You just need to find something to give you a purpose, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And give you that purpose.
And that's the problem today, is there's nothing to give these kids purpose. There's not enough. Sometimes that came in the form of a football team. Sometimes that came in the form of a boxing club. For me, it was boxing. Like, some people, it could be a youth club. You know what I mean? It could be anything, just something to give them purpose. When you don't start having purpose, and you don't start having something to come home, get dressed, go out, go to this club or go to that club, that after school club, you start getting bored. And things start to fall apart, and you start getting distracted by things that you would not normally get distracted by, and you start acting out of character. Definitely.
Well, I think we've got a lot of boredom going around right now in our society.
Massively.
A lot of people are bored, and a lot of things are
massively. And I just want to say, like, things like this, like when I see it, I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, you man just built this from nothing. I mean, I know it's not nothing, but you built it up. Yeah, I mean, you man could be out there doing wild stuff. Like, you be out there living wild. Yeah. You're too busy editing videos and, interviewing people. I've learned so much from watching you guys. When I can't remember what the first interview I saw. It might have been Dale or one of them. I can't remember, or Liam. Big up to Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A wise goat.
This is a big thank you to this guy, though, isn't it? Following his dream and doing what he wanted to do. Absolutely. And he brought people in.
Listen,
I never thought I'd be sitting here. He's brought his friend in. Like, this is
it, man. I didn't know about Frankie's story. I didn't know about Tyson Gallagher. I didn't know about these people until you, man, introduced me to them. And because of the stories you've got out of these people, like, I went down a rabbit hole watching these people.
I remember you texted me.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, how are these people in this town and I don't know?
That's what.
Yeah, that's mad.
That's the crazy thing.
I don't know. Like, I've loved this town. Listen, big up to all my people in Stopsley, Farley Hill, Hightown, Dallow Road, Berry Park, Marsh Farm, Lucy Farm, Hocker Ring, Leagrave, Runfold, Birmingham, Bushmead, even all you man in Dunstable. Even all you man in Hatter Regis, all of you, like, love you all. Like, I love this town. Don't let people put borders and geographical location and limitations into stopping you from progressing.
Stupid, man.
And stupidity.
But that is the problem with Luton, though. I think a big problem with
it's not
Luton, but
the world.
I don't think the council and that do a lot
No, they take it away
for the town either. But I think a lot of councils are like that because they're making cuts, but they're making cuts on the things that
we're a town that's having city problems.
Yeah.
You know, taking away funding.
Well, we're a town that don't get. We're a city basically, but get town funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's probably the issue.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
we're a city that gets town funding because we're technically a town, but we're way too big.
Yeah.
But I feel like even me, like I've emailed the Luton Today paper to try put Frankie's documentary and everything. I ain't had nothing.
Nothing.
No,
That's
nothing.
crazy, man.
Tweeted them.
That's
nothing.
crazy,
I've had nothing. So I don't know. It's like, what else do I do? Like, how do I get?
Yeah, but this is what you're doing.
Yeah,
what you're doing right now, the podcast and the light you shed.
You will outshine that in the end. 100%, man.
Because like Ticey's one, when she won a Commonwealth thing, that to me is front page.
Of course.
That's front page news.
Of course, 100%.
She had like a small little section in the sports bit that the person she works for had to send the article in.
Yeah.
Well, it should have.
That's mental.
That's
What's a journalist's job?
That's crazy.
What's a journalist's job?
That's crazy.
No, I just don't think the town gets behind as many people as they should.
No, they don't.
I always go back to that boxing video that Irish boy winning the Europeans, and he walks in and every single one from teachers to students, they're all there celebrating his win for when he gets back. Whereas like you wouldn't get that in Luton.
No. Even as a kid, there would always be a little bit, but there wasn't enough. For me, there wasn't enough. Like, you know, when you saw like guys like Billy Schwer and these guys doing massive things in boxing, but you know, we just weren't. We were just interested in some bullshit. Some stupid.
Because they don't
story.
give when these people do make it in that, they don't really
come back.
They don't want to come
well,
back
you didn't
and
do nothing.
I wouldn't say that's 100% true.
No, it's not 100% true.
I wouldn't say that's 100% true because there are definitely guys who give back. Maybe not as many as we'd like, but eventually.
But it's understandable for the people that don't come back because the injustice.
Exactly.
People say
you got that Aaron Fontaine. The actor.
Oh, there you go.
He started the acting club and stuff like that. Like that's a person that was doing. He was on like a Netflix.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
One of these Netflix series, a big one.
Yeah.
And he's come back and he started the Luton acting school and stuff like that. So that's someone giving back. But like you said, you don't.
Definitely.
You can understand people not coming back and doing stuff because they weren't really getting the push from the get go.
Look at Faisal. Faisal, same way. At Legends, like he's giving back. He's giving back to his community. Faisal's an amazing individual, man, and people don't give him enough credit. When I see what he's trying to build and what he's trying to do for the community is amazing. Like he's building young, hungry fighters from the community, and giving them a platform and putting his time and effort and giving them bringing in world class coaches.
I believe him. Yeah. When he come on here,
he said he's going to have champions.
Yeah, I think he is going to have champions. I think they're going to have champions in the UFC.
Luton's going to be. Listen, this is a gritty town.
It's going to be a hub.
It's a gritty town. Yeah, you know what I mean, there's a lot of people come from broken homes who need that guidance, and they will put 100%. Listen, next 5 years you'll see people shine. I'm saying it probably happened now, but I'm saying next 5 years you'll see it be cement. I don't know if it's because we're more in the space though now as well, but I feel like it's just getting bigger.
No, I think combat sports in Luton's
sports in general.
The boxing, with the sports in general,
sports, music, everything.
But I'm just they're gonna have a UFC, and they're gonna have UFC champions, boxing champions. There's gonna be loads of people
boxers.
coming.
You got Reynolds, you got Linus, you got Frankie, you got Ticey, you got Sam King.
Yeah. Big up to all them.
There's probably other people I have not named. Sorry about that.
100%.
I don't really know probably yet, but there's a lot more people. You got the younger generation coming up. But this is why the town. We got the town in the Premier League now.
The guy he trains at 210 reviews sometimes. We're used to Ibrahim. His name's Ibrahim, and he's just gone on because I watched him at Duncan's first fight, Battle Arena, and he fought this was last July, and he fought a Irish guy.
Yeah, and
the Irish guy was like a heavy wrestler, and he struggled with the wrestling and lost. And Hayden was telling me some stuff about that he was training with some stuff hopefully I'll get him on one day and we'll speak about it. But
Ibrahim's a lovely guy, man.
Yeah, doing his training and that, and Legends. Then he starts training with Legends. He's training with Views anyway. He just went for his second UK belt the other day for Battle Arena. Yeah. So he's Battle Arena champion in bantamweight, and he jumped up to featherweight, and I think he fought for the belt, and he just come short, and now he's defending his bantamweight. That's massive in a year turnaround of.
He's been one of my favorite stories so far because
crazy, man.
Because to see how much he's grown, to see how much he's his confidence, man, alone, and just to see how far he's come is amazing, and it's just a start for him.
Well, he's not letting.
And his name is Ibrahim, isn't it? I don't want to butcher his name.
We all call him Ibby, but Ibrahim.
I think his name on Instagram's Ibby, but I didn't want to butcher his.
The Terminator, man. That's what we call him. He's
but that's just from putting. That's hard work.
Listen,
that's hard work because I watched him last year where he was struggling with the wrestling, and now he's dominating people like good talented people. Like Battle Arena's a big company, man.
I think Battle Arena's a really good starting point for anybody who's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the guys I know, Faza went through Battle Arena. I know a lot of the guys went through Battle Arena to start with and worked their way through. I think Duncan did. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Sammy. Big up Sammy.
Yeah.
Love Sammy, man.
I've got a lot of time for Sammy. Me and Sammy go way back. So big up to Sammy. Big up to.
Do you used to box with Sammy?
Nah, I never boxed with Sammy. It's weird because we never really, because he's from like the same era as me, and we never really crossed paths. So I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't know. I used to box in Lucy. I think he boxed in
Shamrock. I think
he was Shamrock. So he's up Townside. So big up to him, man. I got a lot of respect for him. And like you said, there's a real talent pool of fighters. Even not just fighters, man. Anything. It could be music, could be art. There's so much in this town that just gets taken for granted.
I love that though with the combat sports in this town because the clubs are so close. They're so like using legends are like that.
I'm cool with the guys at Luton Grappling Club.
Of course. The Prime Boys go down to legends. They come. Man. I think Ibrahim the El Matador.
Oh yeah,
he come and done. He's come and done with you.
He's stoic, man. I could listen to that guy talk.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. You would put him and Sam Creasy together.
I bet him and Sam Creasy have the maddest conversation.
We need to have a network podcast. We need to have a night where we get everyone together, like just...
Listen,
book a hall, like get a UFC
just
on,
like something like that, man.
What did you just say?
Networking.
What was your idea?
Like just getting everybody that we all know from Luton in the same area and get this, like helping each other, man.
What's your name?
Mikey,
just put that into the universe. Remember that.
We've said about it before, innit? We have said about it before. We do need to get it done and arranged.
That,
we do,
and it will happen.
That is true. That is true.
We need to do it. We need to do it.
It is easily done.
The amount of people we've met on here that we'd like to connect with other people and
vice versa.
It's not even that. Like, you want to connect that guy with that guy. Well, we've met this guy. You know, you'd really get along with him. Let's meet up. That's the perfect thing about it. That's why I've loved doing podcasting. Because you get to meet people you would have never spoke to.
Listen, this podcast, right, is the first podcast I've listened to in a while. I went for a phase where I just got bored of podcasts. Like, I was just listening to like Ric Flair's podcast and stuff. Wait, listen. I recommend. Like, I ain't trying to plug anybody else's podcast, right, except yours. But if you go and listen to Ric Flair's podcast, you hear some wild stories, right? I definitely recommend that podcast. But I can't remember what the first interview was. But I got to a point where you'd upload, because it's a Wednesday you upload it. I know that, right? Every Wednesday became bath night. I shower every day before people come at me, right? I shower every day. I shower twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day.
I'm a 2 a day, man.
Right? Well. Yeah, right. There we go. Right. I'm glad we got that. Okay, but when I say bath night, don't come for me like it's one night a week. So, but it became the day where I wanted to sit down, put a podcast on and listen, and because of you, man. Because I like the interviews you guys are doing, the people you interview. It's things that I'm interested in. So yeah, definitely big up to you, man, and it will happen. Because you guys seem like you genuinely care about what you do.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It means a lot, especially coming from someone like you as well. I think boys said the same thing.
I'm mere mortal, bruv. Like, I'm just a fan. You know?
But maybe it's like it's because people kind of they get, like we were saying earlier, not everyone, but some people they get big in Luton and they kind of get out. Like they get big to get out. Like let's do it and leave. Maybe the path is to like
Tate or something.
Maybe the path is to bring Luton up. Like me and Mike were speaking about earlier, they are trying to gentrify the town. Like they are trying to make it a nicer town, and maybe it's the time to like lift the town up and maybe do more. Like if the council can't do it, let's
in the Premier League. It's completely different. Come on, that's
we're Premier League town now.
That's history.
Not Premier League City.
Yeah,
Premier League town. That's a beautiful thing, man. And big up to you guys for really pushing that, like, and when the whole Luton Town promotion thing was going on, man, I see what you guys were doing and that, and it was sick. It was great to see, like, going to that where they had the ceremony, like, and just looking around and seeing everybody, not the Luton fans you only see 20 years ago. I'm talking everybody. I'm talking all my brothers and sisters from Bury Park. I'm talking all the people from my Caribbean community, from Lucy Farm, Hocko Ring, Marsh Farm, all these areas, all the Irish, all the Scottish, all the Polish, all the Romanians, everybody. Every single person was there because they were proud. Not because they wanted to get on the piss, not because they wanted to cause a madness. They were there because they were proud of their town. And it was beautiful to see you, man, part of it, and to see everybody else part of it. It was wicked, man. And I really enjoyed
Bury
it.
Park, they like walked the coach down with the drums.
Listen, Bury Park celebrated. They brought
Bury Park went off.
They brought it
that's
out.
why it took so long for the coach to get to the thing, because
2 hours.
they blocked it up. And they were beating the drums.
They set the tone, man.
Yeah,
I loved that. I loved seeing that, because it's something I always wanted to see.
I love that, and you need atmosphere. And I wish they'd let the drummers into the ground.
Stadium, yeah.
Especially if
they should have.
Especially if you can mix up the songs. If they could start playing some of their football songs on the drums, which they could.
Listen,
I'm telling you, the atmosphere would be.
It's early doors, man. It's early doors. Don't rule it out. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see more.
That's what I think they need. They need passion.
Luton is
passion,
a melting pot, and people need to realise that.
They do, innit? There's so much going on. So much positive stuff.
I have grown as a human, and I've learnt so much about life because of the environment I've grown up in. I've grown up with Muslim brothers and sisters, Christians, Rastafarians, Hindus, Sikhs, Catholics, Protestant, and I've learnt so much from all of them. People from the Caribbean, West Africa, Europe, Asia, everywhere. Like, big up to all of you, because without you, I wouldn't have grown as a human. I wouldn't be able to learn so much. And this town is a melting pot, and it is a beautiful thing that we have so much knowledge and so much culture on our doorstep, and gets taken for granted by idiots, unfortunately, who don't want to. But so big up to all you, man. Big up to all you girls. Big up to everybody, because I learned so much, man, and it's made me appreciate this town even more. You know, I'm a massive, like I said, if you know me for longer than 2 minutes, man, you're gonna know where I'm from and where my family came from, because I'm proud of it. So yeah, 100%, man. That is Luton's, the trajectory of Luton at the moment, man. It's just like that. Like its stock is going through the roof, but we've got to make sure it's done right, and we don't want to end up like Hackney, and we don't want to end up like all these places that have gone through, you know, some obviously he's rebuilt these areas amazingly, and some people in the area will tell you, but we don't want to go through that gentrification where we lose our identity, and before you know it, we're all drinking kombucha, and you know. I like Wagyu, bro. I like some Wagyu.
That bubble tea.
Bubble tea. I like bubble tea, bro. Some bubble tea, kombucha, and all these things, and you know what I mean, like you know. But I don't want to see Luton go. I don't want Luton to lose its character. You know what I mean? And I know you, man, don't either.
No,
so yeah,
that is the main thing about Luton.
And to bring it back to 210, like 210 is one of the things that, for me, is what helps drive that. Because you look around the room and it's a melting pot. Everybody's under one roof. Everybody is proud of their town, and everybody's like proud of their club. So yeah, it's wicked. So big up to everybody at 210. Even Kieran after that story, yeah.
He knows.
I knew there was going to be some kind of Easter egg from him as well.
It's funny. It was when we both were leaving.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, tell him.
Yeah. So I'm glad you hotted him up now. I'm glad you were withholding that. Yeah. Yeah. He loves
the pot.
Is there any finishing questions that you've got that we've not run through yet? No. So the two finishing questions of the pod. Obviously, you watch it anyway. How do you want to be remembered? So when it's all said and done, how does Aaron want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? Just somebody who liked to give back and was a savage. Somebody who wanted to give back to the community and was proud of who he was and was never afraid to be proud of who he was. And a great dad and a great husband. And I'll be happy.
That's nice,
yeah,
man.
I love that one.
And your most euphoric moment in life so far?
Or combat sports.
Okay,
you can do two. You can do as many as you want.
I'll tell you what. No. Because me and you had this conversation.
Yeah.
You remember this conversation?
Yeah, I do.
You remember this conversation? We can't have that conversation on here, right? Hey, listen, that's a story for a different podcast, but or not actually.
Yeah. No, it's come back.
You remember now? Yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
Right. So my most euphoric moment to date in combat sports.
Anything. It can be life. Anything. It can be, or you could do one from each. You could do one in life and one from combat sports. It's down to you.
My most euphoric moment was watching my mum buy a house, get out of the flats after like 20-something years.
Yeah.
Buy her own house, and just work. Get everything that she worked hard for. That's probably looking back.
The graft.
Yeah. Because I saw everything that she had to go through as a single mom. So to see her do that and to see her succeed and strive and get out and break that statistic of a single mum on a council estate is, that's been one of the.
That's a strong woman.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, big up to my mum. I don't tell her enough. Maybe it's time. I mean, I'm on a podcast now, but I love my mum to bits. She's amazing. She went from, unemployed single mum, 2 kids, council estate, the usual. She became the statistical mum, and she went to night school. She worked as a cleaner. She built herself back up, and slowly but surely, she got herself a career, and eventually done what she deserved and moved out. And
see, that's an inspiration in itself. That shows you if you want it, you can get it.
Listen,
it's going to be. No one's saying the road's going to be easy,
and it wasn't.
And everyone's road's going to be different.
Absolutely. So big up to her.
Yeah,
big up to all my family as well. Big up to
you're a proper family man, innit?
Yeah, I love my family. I love my family. I love my family. Like I said, not everybody is fortunate enough to have that family, but if you do, don't take it for granted. Mm-hmm. Don't take it for granted. Don't let petty. Like I'll share a story right quickly. Like I won't say who, but a very close family member of mine, who was influential and crucial to my upbringing. I fell out with them over nothing. And we didn't talk for nearly 3 years over nothing. And in those 3 years, I never needed that person in my life more than I ever did. But ego got the better of me, and stubbornness. So if you got that person in your life, man, just let them things go, because there's things way more important in life, man. And if you need that person in your life, you need that person in your life. And sometimes you got to push your ego to one side to realize that. So don't take that for granted. And that's sound like Jerry Springer's final words, innit? Final thoughts.
I love that final thoughts.
I love that.
You know what it is? That's the realness. That's the realness people need to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not here to tell you that life is a bag of roses, bruv, because I wish it was. I really wish it was, but no, it's not. So but thank you to you guys. Thank you to all of you.
No, we appreciate you coming on, man. Because without people like you, we wouldn't be able to.
Nah, and vice versa, man. Vice versa.
People in the community in that, man. Obviously, you're doing big things at 210, so I'll link everything down below, because I think people need to go there and try it out, because it is, like Rain said, it is a family.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's welcome, man. Listen, even you.
I'd be honest with you. I love football.
So do I.
I love playing football.
Yeah, you do.
I love playing football, and that's I say I'm not gonna. Like, I love combat sports. I love watching it, and I just love everything about it. But I love playing football, and I always think do you know what? I hate the pettiness in football, the bitchiness and all the gayness. Yeah. It is. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. You offended. You're offended.
Yeah.
Don't watch. But there's so much petty in just. Because you're relying on a load of other people that don't want to pull their weight, whatever.
Are you a football? Like, are you a consumer of it as well? Football?
Yeah. But I've started to not like it, like professional football.
What football team do you support?
Luton, but Man United when I was growing up.
Good man.
But I've started to. He's a big Man United fan. I love playing football, man. So when I come to Jiu Jitsu and like I'm tight and then I start getting these like small little. Niggles and that, and then I'm like, well, now I can't play on Saturday. It's like, do I want jiu-jitsu or do I want to play on Saturday? And I kind of want to play on Saturday.
Let me tell you something. My good friend Mark, right? Shout out to Mark, yeah. Sorry to drag this on you.
No. We got time. I was just finishing up the questions.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is like, go. Yeah, there's no time limit on this.
So shout out to my boy Mark, right? Mark, he always says all the injuries he ever got, he never got from combat sports. He always got from football.
Yeah, but I can understand that, but I'm not hearing that though at the same time because
Now you're not. How old are you?
24.
Right, chat to me when you're 30.
Yeah, no. Football's one of them things you can't do for a long.
That is true. That is probably why when you come combat sports,
but I think because I'm already like I've got these little tight niggles and I've got a big unit like Ben Hardiman. It was my fault. I don't know why I thought I was flexible, but when I got that 94 kg unit,
94
or whatever.
Dude, Ben Hardiman wishes he was 94 kilos, man. Dale's got to be closer to 94 than he has, surely.
But then that just shows you probably just you need to address.
And when he landed on that knee, my knee, nothing was the same. Word to Drizzy. Because I was looking in the clouds, I was like, my fucking knee.
What? Man was one and done. Yeah. But yeah, quickly, just shout out to my boy Mark, right? Because he's the guy. Do you know about the Trey Young comparison?
To him, calling Trey Young. I'm not seeing it.
Listen. When you're editing this, what do you mean?
We put up a photo. Let me look serious.
Right. When you click this and put up a picture of Trey Young next to Rain's face, right? Because my boy Mark said the famous quote of, "Rain looks like Trey Young if he was put in a tumble dryer."
You didn't tell us the second part. You did not tell us the second part.
Like Trey Young, you didn't say he was put in the tumble dryer.
Now you say that, that makes sense. But when you said
they said I look like Trey Young, man. No, they said you look like a fucking tumble dryer Trey Young.
So shout out to Mark for that line because that will never leave me.
better than Trey Young though. When you're gonna see it, you're gonna be like,
no. But listen, but you know why you do? Because you got better hairline, bro. He ain't got no hairline, man. His hair's gone.
He's wispy. He looks like he does Jiu Jitsu as well. His ears are like that.
Yeah, he has got So that line always sticks to me. Whenever
he's a baller though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, my missus is an Atlanta Hawks fan, so she's a big Trey Young fan. So big up to her. So yeah, but yeah, wicked. Thank you for everything.
Nah, thanks for coming on, man. I might have to pop back down because obviously he was saying when you were rolling with him, you were saying back with the islands, and this boy let Fiji down, and I'm like, I ain't gonna let Jamaica beat Fiji like that.
I didn't know you guys were Jamaican as well.
Yeah, the first time we ever come there, that's what he's like. He's like, yes, Battle of the Islands, Jamaica versus Fiji.
And I'm like, this man let Fiji down like that.
Yeah, he did massively.
Nah, I'm already letting Fiji down for now. I'm holding it down for now.
No. In all seriousness though, like Rain is like, you know, for anybody who follows Rain. I don't know if he's become a social media presence quite yet.
I'm not really.
He's getting there. He's getting there. Not yet. Anyway, but he will do eventually. Right, become like the podcast sweetheart, innit? They'll all be like, "Going, there's Rain coming on today." Like, yeah, he's doing really well. And everybody he's coming up with at that level is progressing pretty. At the speed we want them to. So we're all very proud of what they're doing. So yeah. So if he ever starts slacking, yeah, I'm gonna start calling you out.
Slacking's not in my nature.
There you go. That's what I want to hear, bro. Slacking's not in my nature. I like that.
Because when I come there, I turn up. I don't think these people know. Like, I'm stretching before I come there. I'm fueling before I come there. I'm ready. I'm hydrating. I'm like, when I come there, yeah, like today, like I woke up, I was like, I'm coming there to try kill people. I'm trying
dominate.
I'm coming there to be the best because I want to be better. Yeah. Like you and Kieran are the
benchmark.
You and Kieran are the benchmark. I weren't really seeing it a couple weeks before because I was still in limbo of the gym and that. But ever since 2 weeks ago, I was like, mate, this it's consuming me. It's like I'm getting FOMO when I don't go. I'm like sitting at home. I'm like last night I was like, I need to go. And Mrs. like, why can't you just chill with me? No, and I'm like,
no. Listen.
Porrada Fridays.
I tell you, when I first met my missus, she'll tell you this, right? I said, listen, this is the worst. This is like some Jean-Claude Van Damme business, yeah. I was like, Jiu Jitsu was here before you, and it will be here after you.
It's true.
And luckily for me, she started training, so it was all good.
She joined in.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, listen, if you're blessed to have an understanding missus at home, then don't take that for granted. Get your ass to the gym and train. And for the ones that aren't understanding, try your best to make them understand.
You got to give him the Aaron speech.
Yeah, you do. You got to be like, it's been here before you. It's been here after
BC.
Yeah,
exactly. Put the hammer down on
exactly. Get the 4 hammer at boom.
It's the sport, man. If anyone could try it, definitely go try it.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
Because I know, you know, what it is. I used to cuss it as well. I never thought anything of it. Like when I done a bit of kickboxing when I was younger. I thought, that's kind of physical, but you don't think about when someone comes to maul you, like you have to survive, and it's so hard. Like you're gassed when you get up. You're like
99% of people don't experience that. They don't experience what it's like to have someone like weighing down on them.
And littler people. It doesn't even have to be big people. It
could be someone who's 50 kilos. I got girls who I've seen wrap up big men on their first session, and just go, "Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't want to ever experience that ever again."
Yeah, Can happen, it, man. I do. You
put him off.
He needs to come try. We said we were gonna do some vlogs and said.
You need a vlog on that, definitely.
Yeah, ex-rugby boy.
You're right. Yeah, there you go then, innit?
He's had it.
The physicality don't bother you.
They had the Marine there the other day, Charlie.
Spokesy.
Oh, we've got loads.
Yeah,
we've got Marines, man. We've got Marines coming through the place all the time. You got Dale. Dale's.
Where is it? Does he ever come?
Listen, I'm calling out Dale Hardiman right now. Yeah, hurry up and get your ass to the gym. I'm waiting. We're all waiting. Click that. Tag it. Click that. Tag it. Tell Dale we're all waiting. We need him. We need his energy. Get him to the gym. He's been telling me he's going to come train for the longest. And he could be amazing as well. So big up to him. I'm sure when his time comes, his time comes. So yeah. But yeah.
I'll be catching him in a guillotine or something.
Hey, good luck. Click that.
You know when he put that photo up when he's got that guy? That's how I'll be having him, mate. I'll be having him like that.
Clip that, bruv.
Is he serious at jiu-jitsu? I bet he is.
He's good, man.
Listen, he was catching people in like at good level of MMA. Like when you're tapping people at a good level of MMA, I think like
and it's funny how he says like a lot of it he's learnt off gaming. That's like the mind just like mental.
Dale was like used to puzzle me because I'm like, bruv, you don't even train. Like you don't even. He's had no formal training in jiu-jitsu, but you'd watch him be able to grapple. Not saying he could grapple with the highest level dudes, but he could give people trouble that have been training for a few years, and make you go, how? Like he made me question it sometimes. Like, how's he doing it? He must be doing some. I used to say to Ben, I'm like, he's doing some secret training. Right? He's like, nah.
He's very smart though, man.
Very smart, very intelligent. Yeah. So big up to him, and hopefully we'll see him on the mats again soon. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
this has been
it's been good, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Wicked, my man.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name again? Mike. I will remember that, you know. I'm bad with names, bro. It's only because his name's Rain. I'm like, how can I forget that?
You can't.
We went
Trey Young tumble dryer.
We went to a combat fight series, like, it must have been last year. And we walk in, our names were on the list.
Yeah.
And the woman behind the thing goes, which one of you's are brothers? Is like, you two have got nice names. I was like, thanks. Like, not me. I was here like, what?
Great name.
I was like, thanks.
You know what they are
just Mikey.
We have got weird names, man.
Not weird.
They're not weird. It's just it's very like Rain.
They're
and
unique.
Diaz.
No, they're unique. It's good.
I prefer that. Yeah.
What?
Unique, having a unique.
Yeah,
name.
of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's bait, don't it? Because you're the only guy with that name. You could only be him.
Second name Ali.
There you go.
Mad,
yeah. So it can only be you.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Nah, I love that, man. People, I'm going to put the links down below.
Thank you so much.
Peace.